Hey everyone, how you all doing? This is Zach here, and I am here for an era review for you guys. Now, for this era, I'm going to be reviewing the Todd Torre era of Queensryche. Queensryche is, of course, one of my favorite progressive metal bands, and I think that their music is excellent. I mean, if you haven't checked these guys out, please do yourself a favor, check out these guys. I mean, if you're a fan of good music, you won't be disappointed. So with this era, this is when Todd Latour came into the place of Jeff Tate whenever, there was a feud going on between the band members, with a different direction Jeff Tate wanted to take. And to be honest with you guys, not to disrespect Jeff Tate or anything, because he's, I think, a really good vocalist, but I would have been perfectly fine if, he would have left the band way sooner than he did. I mean, I believe he left the band around 2013, something like that, whenever they got their new vocalist, Todd Latour, of course. I personally would have been okay if Jeff Tate would have left the band like in 2004 or something, like right after Tribe. Because in my opinion, Tribe was really the last good album with Jeff Tate on vocals, I think. But they have a current vocalist now, Todd Latour, and he's a great singer. He definitely does a good job. So let's go ahead and get into the albums. So far, there's only been 3 albums with Todd Latour, possibly more within the Queensryche discography as they release more albums and whatnot, but yeah. So it all started with the self-titled Queensryche album. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is probably my least favorite album in this era, but that's not saying much because it's still a great album. There's still a lot of solid stuff on this album. Like Where Dreams Go to Die, very theatrical, very just kind of dramatic sounding, especially in the first half of the song. I mean, the instrumentation is really well made in this song. Another highlight for me is in this light, very upbeat, dare I say, very kind of a fun song to listen to. Interesting lyrics for sure that just really gives it this larger than life feeling to it, I think. I like the guitar work, and I think the chorus is something that's really outstanding as well. And then skipping on over to the closing track, Open Road, which is more of an emotional track. I mean, I love the guitar tones and the guitar melodies in this song. I mean, just excellent. The chorus, really outstanding. Like I said, it is a more emotional sounding song that the whole band really does sound like they're giving it their all. But yeah, I think most of this album, though, is really good, though. Pretty solid. So, Queensryche, the self-titled, really solid album. And then we got Condition Human. Definitely a great album. I mean, I think it's a step up from the self-titled. Not by much, but yeah, definitely a great album. There's a lot to like about this album. If you haven't checked out this album yet, definitely check it out. I mean, you got Arrow of Time, which is a great opening track, Guardian, I-9, Bulletproof, which is another theatrical song from this era, I think. Very intriguing to listen to. And then you got the title track, which is also very an intriguing song to listen to. I mean, the songwriting is definitely, I would say, is an improvement overall with this album, I'd say. So Condition Human, it's definitely a great album as well. And then, of course, we got the latest album, The Verdict, and I dig this album. I mean, there's no other way around it. It's still, to this day, my favorite album of 2019. I think it's a great album for sure. Really, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the songs on this album. This, to me, I think is the best Queensryche album with Todd Latour. I think everything is a step up with this album. But if I had to pick out some favorites, I have to choose Man the Machine, which is excellent. I really love everything about this song. The way the vocals are delivered, the instrumentation. There's just a lot to like about this song, and it's a solid choice for a single. And then Light Years, I think, is another excellent track. It also kind of has that larger than life feel to it that just really gives it this, it's a song that just really demands your full attention. I mean, it's a really great track. I love the guitar work and the chorus. I mean, everything about it's great. Dark Reverie, I remember being one of the singles. I really dig that one. Bent, which is, I think, one of the best Queensryche songs of Todd Torre's era, for sure. Maybe even the best. I don't know. I really love Bent, though. It's definitely a great song. Definitely one of my favorites on the album. I just love the way that this song flows and the way it's structured overall. The lyrics are interesting, and the guitar work is something that's really worth pointing out. I mean, it's definitely something that I just had to point out about this song. It's really outstanding. The solo, I mean, it's really just awesome. It's a really great solo, and the chorus, it's definitely good. I mean, there's a lot to like about this song. And then you got Launder the Conscience, which is, I think, one of the most underrated songs on this album. Kind of another, I want to say, kind of like another theatrical kind of song in a way, especially towards the end of the song. I love the guitar work, and I like the flow of this song as well, and the structure. It's a real, it's got its energy, but towards the end, it's fairly atmospheric. I dig this song, though. It's good. Is it one of my favorites? I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but it is definitely an honorable mention for me. And then you got Portraits, which is the closing track, and I think this song is great. I love the dark mood that this song delivers, and there's just a lot to like about this song as well. So overall, the Todd Torre era of Queensryche, I think is solid. I mean, so far, every album with him on vocals has been great. I mean, it's not easy for bands like this to pull off, I think. I think, whenever, a replacement singer comes in, I mean, you're bound to have at least a few albums that are not too great. One example I can think of is the Blaze Bayley era of Iron Maiden. I mean, you had the X Factor, which is really good, and then you had Virtual 11, which is, it's just kind of meh. So that's not really the case here. It's not like, a new vocalist came in and it's like, oh, whatever. Because this is actually something that Queensryche needed for a long time. Because the Queensryche albums in the 2000s era, needless to say, has not been very great. Now, I know I said Tribe was probably the last good album with Jeff Tate, but the majority of the stuff in the 2000s honestly wasn't too great. And that's not to say that I think Tribe is an album that's absolutely mind-blowing or anything. That album, I think, is just good, not great. But these albums with Todd Torre, I think are great. So, yeah. That's my review, guys. I think this is a pretty solid era. Now, if you're getting into Queensryche, would this be the era to begin with? No. I would still recommend Jeff Tate's era from the 1980s. Start off with one of their 80s albums, and you should be good to go. But that's my review for the Todd Torre era. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like this era? Do you agree with what I have to say here? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and take care.